New South Wales Supreme Court judge has ruled in favour of more than 6,000 Queenslanders who were left devastated by the deadly 2011 floods. Live to Julia Bradley at Goodna near Ipswich. And Julia, residents there are celebrating this verdict.
That's right, Tom. It's taken almost 9 years, but today, great news for the more than 6,800 Brisbane and Ipswich residents. Today, we saw the New South Wales Supreme Court Justice Robert Beach-Jones. He ruled in favour of the victims. He said that the plaintiff succeeds in claims against all defendants. He ruled that engineers working the Wivenhoe and the Somerset dams, that they failed to correctly adhere to the flood mitigation manual that they had been given. He said that they underestimated the amount of rain that would fall and that there was a failure of approach. He said that engineers made decisions based on ground observations rather than forecast rainfall, even though forecast rainfall was mentioned at least 12 times in that manual that was drafted just 18 months before the disaster. So the floods back in 2010-2011 in Queensland, they were officially labelled floods and indeed a disaster on January the 6th, but water wasn't released from dams until the afternoon of January the 7th. So a big win for the victims of this disaster. 20,000 Brisbane homes were inundated because of this crisis. At least 3,000 in Ipswich and Goodna, which is a town near Ipswich where I am now. That's where they're really celebrating because it was the hardest hit town in southeast Queensland. We've heard from one victim, a man in his 70s. His name was Frank. He came today to watch a live stream of that announcement being made, wearing the exact same clothes that he wore during this disaster.
These are the shoes I wore for 4 days. These are the shorts I wore. This is what I had left. When you have 30 feet of water go over your house, nothing.
So former Ipswich Deputy Mayor and Councillor Paul Tully, he's had a big hand in all of this, this marathon legal battle. He's really been pushing for greater recognition for the people here in Goodna. He's also had a couple of things to say after the verdict. He said now attention is really turning to compensation so that residents can get back on their feet for good.
I would call on Anastasia Palaszczuk, especially with an election just a year away, to accept the judge's decision, to get on with the job of recompensing the victims. We don't want this to drag on for another couple of years while it's fought out on appeal in the New South Wales Court of Appeal or the High Court. Anastasia Palaszczuk has a duty to draw a line, pay all the flood victims and allow us to get on with our lives.
So great news today for the thousands of people affected by this disaster. But it is important to note that either side, they can still appeal the decision. But of course, that could result in much more significant delays, up to 2 years.